Chapter 2. Michael looks as though he's going to bolt. I give him what I hope is a firm but encouraging smile and motion for him to step forward and lead the way to the front of the room. My friend Sally waves enthusiastically as the two students in front of her try to execute one another with imaginary swords. The soundtrack is perfect, the strings building to a dramatic climax, and by this point, many of the students are now lying on the floor, clutching injuries or dying a prolonged, agonising death. Sally stops the music and the students come back to life and face us. "Fantastic work, everyone!" She claps her hands. "Bradley, I really liked the way you reacted as Sam drove his sword into your side. Melody, try to slow down your movement as you fall to the ground. Maybe stretch out your hand like you're trying to hold on to your last moments." She extends her arm with a desperate expression. "Like that." I catch a glimpse of Michael's face, still in shock. "I'm so excited that Miss Baker and Mr. Chase have joined us today," Sally continues. "I can't wait to show them what you've been working on." It's the battle at the end of Julius Caesar. At the front, Brutus, Cassius, Octavius and Antony take centre stage, with the rest of the class as soldiers behind them. They show us their whole performance from the beginning, an enthusiastic, if a little samurai-inspired, rendition of the war. At the end, I clap and grin and nudge Michael when he continues to stand there open-mouthed. "Break time," Sally calls. The class disperse, with one boy lingering behind. "Do you want to see a trick?" he says to Michael. Without waiting for an answer, he pulls out some cards and fans them in front of Michael, then flips one over to reveal an ace, then makes it disappear again. "That's fantastic," I say, when it becomes apparent that Michael doesn't know how to respond. "I'll just go and grab some drinks," Sally says, leaving Michael and me alone in the classroom. "Are you okay?" I ask, nudging him to break his trance. "I don't know if I can do this," he says. "Of course you can," I say. "Just go with it. They're kids. They want to tell you things and show you stuff. It's cute. By the time they get to us, life has kicked that out of them." "I'm an English teacher," Michael huffs. "I don't do slow-motion sword fights to synth music or card tricks." "Maybe you should," I grin. "It makes sense of why their literacy is so poor when they start year 7, Michael says gloomily, pointing to a board of key words. "Fiery is spelled wrong. All this 2 stars and a wish feedback, and no one has highlighted any of the errors in these pieces of writing." English isn't Sally's specialism, I admit, but she does a great job of getting the kids excited about Shakespeare. She uses drama and music to engage their interest. Michael sighs. "It's going to be a long day." Most teachers would enjoy the opportunity to be off timetable to visit a feeder primary school and help develop a play as a fun extracurricular project. Michael, however, would prefer to teach the rules of direct speech to our Year 11 boys group, who are challenging to say the least. He perks up when we look at some of the famous speeches of the play with the group and do more analytical activities on how to speak the lines, which words to emphasise. This is more familiar ground. But then it's time for a final run-through with the battle scene. By the time we're back in my car, ready to return, Michael leans back in the seat and closes his eyes. He doesn't even have the energy to hold the dashboard. I smile to myself, enjoying a moment to stare at his clean-shaven face, his dark hair slightly ruffled and out of place over his pale forehead. My stomach gives a little skip. Michael doesn't know how attractive he is. I remember watching him teach for the first time, how magnetic he was at the front of the classroom. He was definitely out of his comfort zone today. At one point, I went to the bathroom and came back to discover him, back pressed against the wall, shrinking away from 2 students duelling. I snigger as I turn the key in the ignition, and the car comes to life. Maybe I should suggest an impromptu dinner date tonight to help him recover from the trauma. Then he opens his mouth, and I quickly change my mind.